I'm long overdue for a desk makeover. The past year, I've been working away in my small dorm room mixed with university study rooms here and there. And this wasn't horrible, but I never felt like I had my perfect setup designed for me. That is until today. And this is everything so that you can build it too. All right, so the three key things that I was looking for in my setup, first of all, had to have no clutter. Secondly, I wanted something that was cost effective and budget friendly. And the third thing that the setup needed was it needed to be simple. For me, flexibility is most important. I want something that's not going to be super crazy to move around. The first thing that I got is this Insignia sit stand desk. It's 47 inches long and comes in this white and oak color. I have enough space to have my monitor, to have my laptop on it, to have a microphone connected as well as my keyboard and mouse. But other than that, there's still a lot of space for it to still feel open and not feel like everything is too cluttered. There was the option for, I think, a dark variant of this desk, but I just found that the oak and white color looks so good in so many different scenarios. You can't really go wrong with oak and white because of just how clean it looks. But obviously the main reason that I got this desk is because of the sit stand capabilities. I was kind of debating whether or not if it would even be worth it from like a health perspective. But what I realized is that completely putting health aside, I just like standing and doing work, not for any health reasons, but just because it's sometimes comfy to do work standing up and sometimes it's comfy to do work sitting down. Sometimes it's not actually about like, you know, all these health factors that people talk about, and sometimes it's just what makes you more productive. And for me right now, I enjoy filming standing up, I enjoy doing some work standing up, and some work I feel like sitting. So this is perfect for me. Another thing that's awesome about this desk specifically is that in its sit and stand functions, this desk is super sturdy, right? Like right now it's almost in its tallest position, right? And it does not feel like it's going to move at all. The base is really wide. The top is super solid. It feels high quality made, and it doesn't feel like it's at all going to shake, break, or anything like that, even in its stand position. And obviously in the sitting position, it feels just as nice. But one thing that I wish it had is I wish it could save memory positions of, you know, where the desk last was, just because in order to move the desk up and down, you do have to manually press the up and down every time. But for more expensive desks, this feature is pretty common, but considering this price point, I'm not complaining. I've got some very basic cable management underneath. It's not the best. I know I'm really not the greatest with cable management, and the fact that it goes up and down doesn't make it any easier. But all things considered, I think that this desk does look pretty clean. I have pretty much the least amount of wires that are in my visible view at all times. And honestly, that's the most important thing. In terms of accessories, this desk is perfect for mounting and attaching things, right? Like I've got my microphone over here as well as my monitor. Speaking of my monitor, this is my LG 29-inch gaming monitor. Now, yes, I did buy a gaming monitor, even though I do literally zero gaming, but that's just because gaming products just in general have some of the best specs for the price. It's 29 inches, it's from LG, and honestly, I really like this thing. The 29 inches I find for me is really perfect. With my last monitor, I was looking for something that was just a little bit wider considering all the work that I do, and honestly, that extra real estate does go a long way, right? Like when it comes to from a productivity standpoint, it really helps to have that extra screen real estate. And because it's not like, you know, curved or it doesn't have like any of the gaming accessories, it's kind of, it's still just a really reliable office monitor. You really can't go wrong with it. Now you'll notice that I have it attached to this Vivo stand as opposed to just having it on the stand that it comes with. And that's because I wanted my monitor off the desk itself, just so again, I could have a little bit more clearance when it comes to keeping my workspace clutter free. But the other benefit that I didn't realize I would get from this is one, the cable management is super good. It has this built-in cable organizer that keeps all the cables nice and tidy. I don't have to look at it, I don't have to see it, nothing like that. But also with this stand specifically, it lets you go up, it lets you go down, it lets you twist it, all of that fun stuff. Really solid, doesn't feel like it's gonna drop. Super sturdy. The monitor, despite its size, doesn't weigh it down or necessarily make it fall or anything like that. I really recommend that if you've never tried an ultra wide monitor, you seriously check it out, because from a productivity standpoint, it's really going to help you out and help you get a lot more things done just because you have more space to do the work that you need to do. Next up is my office chair. Honestly, this is just a simple mesh office one that I got off of like Best Buy. It's really not that special. I was just more so looking for something that had a mesh back so that it would be super comfortable if I had to work for some long hours, something with good cushions, like adjustable arms, kind of like your basic stuff. Honestly, I was looking for something that didn't really break the bank because I just need something simple. For the longest time, I worked off like a folding chair, you know what I mean? So I wasn't really looking for anything too crazy, and this chair has not failed me, so not bad. Now, as for the final accessories that kind of go into this setup that I've got, the first is what I'm using to light my face right now, and that is this Mount Dog softbox light. Honestly, I got it off Amazon. It was pretty cheap. Didn't really have to spend a lot for it, and hasn't really failed me, right? You don't really need a lot. And honestly, if you go for some of these more photography-esque sort of lighting setups, you can get really, really high quality stuff that honestly, even if I wasn't making videos or anything like that, like this is just super solid lighting. Like anytime that people see this light or they see my area and they see how bright it is, well, it's because I have like photography studio level lighting, but not at photography studio level pricing. The bulbs on them are super powerful. I don't remember how many lumens, but I'll just link it down below if you're interested in picking up a pack of 2. Next up is my keyboard and mouse. So for this mouse, this is the Logitech MX Master 3. I've been talking about this mouse for years, have been using it for even longer, and this mouse has really not failed me. Like I use it pretty much for everything. It is a little bit more on the pricey side, but considering what you're getting, like this mouse is just super, super reliable. We're talking some custom buttons. We're talking mad ergonomics that feel super, super good in the hands. Amazing battery life, USB-C. It's just awesome. And to go with it, I got the MX keys, I think that's the name of it, the Logitech MX keys for the MacBook. This is a really solid keyboard. For me, my fastest typing speed and the keyboard that I love most is on the MacBook Pro, the 2015 MacBook Pro. Even though I knew that I needed a dedicated keyboard, I wanted something that was similar and reminiscent of that laptop keyboard, and this is the closest thing that I've got. And honestly, the quality on it is amazing, right? The build quality from pretty much all Logitech products are pretty freaking amazing. I got the one without the keypad because I like barely use a number keypad, and there's numbers at the top. Both of these things combined, I maybe put it to charge like once a month, if I remember. It's like, even when the red light comes on and you're supposed to charge it, the battery life is still amazing. If you want a super high quality keyboard and mouse, these are the ones to get. Like, you gotta pick them up. And of course, you know me, it's USB-C and it's Bluetooth, so no cables required. And for charging, you can use the same cable that you're already using for everything already. So the next thing is my microphone. So this microphone is from Razer. I use it pretty much for all the calls that I have to take, and the quality on it is super, super high. The microphone connects with USB-C, which was the main thing that I was looking for. Like, I really hated the microphones that had to use USB-A, and even worse, the ones that had their like own proprietary connection or micro USB. God, I hate that. It's also not that big or expensive, so it's really great if you're somebody that takes a lot of calls or has to film their voice a lot. And what I have it on is this podcast arm from Elgato. This microphone arm, honestly, it's a little bit overkill, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you look at the size of the microphone comparatively to the arm itself, this arm is This arm is super, super thick. This thing is made to take just way larger and heavier and much more expensive microphones that I have here. But because of that, the quality on it is just freaking amazing. Like, I mean, look at how it's just staying up there. This thing is not going to break or fall. Super high quality, which I love. Wherever you put the microphone, it stays there. I also forgot to mention when I was talking about the lights that I have these lights that I got from Amazon. They're like these colored ones. Yeah, they're not the greatest. I need to return them. This is a waste of money. Moral of the story is, don't go too cheap on things. These lights are pretty garbage, so now I need to go and buy some more expensive ones that will actually get the job done. So these next two things are not necessarily part of the desk setup itself. Rather, it's part of my workflow that lets me be super, super productive and makes working at this desk way easier. And that's to have external hard drives. This one is 1 terabyte. I think this one is 2 terabytes. They're both from Samsung. They're the T5 and T7 respectively. And these are just awesome because, I mean, look at how thin these are, right? This is 2 terabytes. Look at how thin it is. It's made out of super, super high quality materials. And again, like I keep reiterating all this time, keeping things simple. It's all USB-C. So again, just one cable for everything. These things are lifesavers, especially if you have a MacBook. upgrading the internal storage isn't really that worth it. Like, the markup that Apple puts on upgrading internal storage is kind of ridiculous, whereas you can get these external storages, right? Like, this is 2 terabytes, a quarter of the price that Apple puts. So if you're somebody that works with a lot of files, or if you want to back things up, keep all of the files that you have safe, you definitely need to go with external hard drives. Okay, we're almost done. These are just a few things that I have still in the area to just, again, maintain that same level of productivity and organization. So this is a drawer that I think I got from IKEA. Super simple. It has wheels on the bottom. The white color is honestly the main reason that I got it, just to match the aesthetic and the seamless, clean vibe that I'm going for. And again, it's just 5 drawers to just house things like paper, extra wires, cords, all that sort of stuff. The only thing with these is that you do have to build it yourself, which can be a pain, but I mean, you get what you pay for. These are really cheap, and honestly, they look great. They're simple, they work, so you can't really complain. And finally is this last glass shelving unit. I use it to keep just a bunch of different random things, honestly, that don't belong everywhere else in my office. Things like old text boxes, some personal items, and all the books that I've got. The biggest difference that I found between this desk setup that I have right now compared to the university dorm room that I was in just a couple months ago is that this desk setup is built from the ground up, tailored for me and for my goals. There isn't fluff. I don't have to accommodate to any constricting parameters, right? Like, everything that I have here is designed by me for a certain function and pushing me towards the goals that I want to achieve. And something about this setup just in general, I find is super motivating. The one thing that I can guarantee that you will get from building your own desk setup is that it's going to be so much more motivating to do the things that you need to do, because the space that you create is tailored to you. Right? It's exactly what you're looking for, and it's gonna meet your needs perfectly. So don't wait on it and build your own desk setup. Be sure to subscribe, and if you wanna use your desk setup to make some side money, watch this video here.